Monday, August 5. In the upcoming week, traders will learn first the news from the Eurozone. At 11 o'clock, the SP Global report on the Purchasing Managers Index is expected. This is an indicator of changes in business conditions in the Eurozone service sector for the reporting month. An increase in the service PMI favorably characterizes changes in market conditions and may positively impact the Euro's quotes. Additionally, at 17 o'clock, the USA will report on the Non-Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index. The final composite PMI is a composite index based on four equally weighted diffusion indices: business activity, new orders, employment, and deliveries. An increase in the PMI influences the rise in the quotes of the US dollar. Tuesday, August 6, at 8:30, the Reserve Bank of Australia will announce its decision on the interest rate. The regulator lowers the interest rate when it is necessary to increase inflation to the target level. Conversely, if inflation exceeds the target level, they aim to make the Australian dollar more expensive by raising the central bank's interest rate. Therefore, each decision to raise the rate directly impacts the national currency's quotes. At noon, Eurostat will publish data on retail sales in the Eurozone. This indicator reflects changes in the volumes of retail sales of goods and services in the Eurozone for the reporting month compared to the previous one. The calculation is adjusted for inflation by using a special deflator. An increase in retail sales in the Eurozone may have a favorable impact on the Euro's quotes. Wednesday, August 7. On Wednesday at 1:45, New Zealand will report on changes in employment. The report reflects the change in the number of officially employed citizens in New Zealand's economy for the reporting quarter compared to the previous one. An increase in employment indicates a strengthening labor market and may positively impact the quotes of the New Zealand dollar. On this date, market players will also be following news from Canada. At 17 o'clock, the Ivey Purchasing Managers Index will be published. It is interpreted as a leading indicator of production and inflation levels. An increase in the index favorably characterizes changes in market conditions and may positively impact the quotes of the Canadian dollar. Thursday, August 8. On August 8, traders will focus on the meeting of the Central Bank of India, where the regulator will announce its decision on the interest rate. The base rate, or the refinancing rate, is the interest rate at which the Reserve Bank provides short-term loans to the country's commercial banks. If the announced bank rate is higher than expected, this may be considered favorable for the quotes of the Indian rupee. Also on this day, the interest rate decision will be announced in Mexico. The event will take place at 22 o'clock. The interest rate decision is one of the most important economic events in Mexico. It is made by the governing board of the Bank of Mexico 8 times a year at monetary policy meetings. An increase in the interest rate leads to an appreciation of the Mexican peso, while a decrease leads to its depreciation. Friday, August 9th. On this day, at 4:30, China will report on the Consumer Price Index. This indicator reflects the change in the price level of consumer goods and services from the perspective of households in the current month compared to the previous month. In other words, it measures the change in the cost of living. An increase in the Consumer Price Index influences the rise in the quotes of the yuan. Canada will be the last to report on important economic events this week. At 15:30, the Employment Change Report is expected. The part-time employment figure includes people who work less than 30 hours per week at their main or only job. The interpretation of this indicator depends on the context. An increase in full-time employment is usually interpreted as a favorable factor for economic development.